if you think about it, like if someone's going to copy in and bridge in 10 million or 20 million of bid side support for HEX because that's what's existing on the ETH chain. They want the prices to be quite the same. And I heard a rumor that some people think that there's going to be cheap pulse on the pulse.
I don't understand that. To me personally,
Who?
I am the guy going, please, all of you move to Pulse so I can buy the cheap Ethereum HEX.
Right.
Like that's what I want.
I don't get it. Like, who's going to sell you a cheap? So if you get in before the fork, you're already getting an EHEX and a PHEX, which we're just calling HEX. But for this example, I'm going to use EMP. But generally, I'll just call the PHEX HEX.
And it's HEX. It is HEX. Absolutely, I agree with that.
So, well, I'll just say HEX on the Pulse network and HEX on the ETH network. Okay. So if you get in before the fork, you're getting HEX on the ETH network, HEX on the Pulse network. And if you don't like the HEX on the ETH network, you can sell that for HEX on the Pulse network. And so you're going to end up with like 2 HEX on the Pulse network if you get in before the fork.
Yep.
But then if you get in after the fork, you're just getting 1.
Yep.
So even if you thought that it was like if you think HEX on the Pulse network is going to go up, well then isn't the best time to buy it before it goes up?
Right now, while it's in a dip on the Ethereum network.
Right. Yeah. So this concept that you're somehow going to get cheap pulse, I think it comes from the idea that we're going to launch at 0, but they don't understand that the next tick, the next price
changes everything.
It ain't going to be a little
Sets
bit more
all
than 0.
of the markets.
It's going to be a lot more than 0.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can trade at 0, but your next tick is going to be a lot more than 0.
Well, and then especially with all the different liquidity pools, it's got to affect the ratios of everything on the network.
Right. So, like, do you think that if someone copies over 10 or 20 million of USDC bridged in, that they're going to, I mean, copy over is not the right word, but they're like,
but to bridge it in.
Okay, this value is like 10 or 20, so then if you want it to be equal, then you put 10 or 20 there. Do you think that entity or person that would be adding that is going to add it at dumb price? And they're just going to be
wouldn't.
Like, you're going to be like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. You would add it at the same level, I would think.
Yeah, you would.
I mean, so
it makes sense to me, and especially as the bridge exists, so that you can, because there's going to be that arbitrage opportunity.
Yeah, if you do it wrong, someone's going to arb it and make money.
Absolutely, and then they're going to bring it to parity, and they're going to make money off of your bad trade.
Exactly.
So
which is why you have the bot in the first.